In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 ways that final expense agencies shore up and cut your commission levels without your knowledge. There's a lot of things that you don't know as a new agent to final expense that you're going to find out in this video that you need to be aware of. A lot of these agents take advantage of your ignorance. And what I'm going to do today is unignorify you so that you are aware of the ways that agents can take advantage of you so you don't let it happen to you. My name is David DeFord. I own DeFord Insurance Group. We train agents nationally to sell final expense in person over the phone. What sets us apart is our one-on-one mentorship program and our Make Money Guarantee. I invite you to check it out at daviddeford.com/FAQ for more details. And if you want some free training, check out daviddeford.com/ISS. We have 30 plus hours of live training, free scripts and final expense and Medicare and more. So go to daviddeford.com/ISS if you're interested in that. So let's jump right into it. So number one way that final expense agencies cut your comp unknowingly, at least unknowingly to you, is what I would call a free lead program. So, but Dave, if I'm getting free leads, I know what my commission levels are, right? Well, yes, but here's the thing. Free lead programs, and we do it, we're just being upfront with you. In order to run a free lead program, your agency is going to have to cut your commission lower than what it could be. And the smart ones cut it even lower to compensate for what? The risk that you might not sell anything. And that burden of that lead that they purchased is now upon the agency to mitigate that and monetize it so that they can at least at a minimum cover their cost. So understand in life, there is no such thing as a free lunch, and it's true for final expense. If you get involved with a free lead program, your commissions are going to be lower, and more importantly, had you written the same business with leads you bought versus the leads you got for free and compared the analysis of what your commission levels would be, you likely would have made a lot more money if the agency owner is intelligent at all in pricing the commission levels had you bought your own leads, even with the costs associated with them, versus getting them for free. Now, with that said, if you're in a position that you're financially strapped, but you love the idea of running this business, there's nothing wrong with a free lead program. My advice is to get involved with one that has an exit date. Like what we do, we start our agents off in a fast track free lead program. It lasts for 8 weeks until the expectation of the agent is that they've saved up enough money and they're confident now enough in their skills and have money on hand to get their own leads and get higher commissions. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's a great way to start, but it's not something I believe long term most agents should be at for the long haul because of the consequences to your financial profitability. Now, number 2 on the list here is not being vested. How does that have anything to do with your commission levels? Well, let me explain, and you'll see right away. Vesting refers to your ownership of the final expense policy. In other words, if you are vested in the business and you are terminated for non-cause, that means you weren't terminated for fraud, let's say, you own that cash flow stream and you will continue to get paid on residuals and any unearned commission. However, if you're not vested up front and you leave the company, all of that future commission you would have earned if you were vested now goes to the uplines. There are many agencies in this business that don't vest you from the first day. Sometimes they're captive. Sometimes they provide you free leads. We are 100% vested from the first day, by the way, guys. But what happens is if you leave these companies and you felt like you've built this big residual stream, it ain't yours. It's not yours to keep. And in some cases, that's just kind of understandable. You know, you may have gotten lead financing, you may have gotten free leads, and that's the consequence. There's no such thing as a free lunch, right? But understand, not being vested is very important. So if you're out there looking for an agency to join, always make sure to ask, hey, am I vested from the first day? And if they say anything other than yes, 100%, ask them why. And watch them not want to recruit you because you know more than you should. Number 3, confusing comp grids. So there is a company out there, a 3-letter IMO that's massive. Everybody knows who they are. And they're notorious about the confusion in which they themselves create around how they actually pay their commissions. Their agencies, not all of them, but many of them do this, and this is reported by many people out there who have been propositioned by this company, report them as saying, hey, you're going to be at the 100% commission level or the 120% commission level to get started with us. But then if you actually look at their comp grid, maybe 1 or 2 products is at the stated commission level they told the agent, but then everything is 15, 20, even 30, 40% points lower. And many times those carriers are the ones you want to use versus the higher commission carriers that are actually harder to use, higher price, etc. Here's my point. Whenever you look at an agency, make sure to look at the full commission grid. Look at the grids, look at the breakdown. Ask to say, is all the carriers at that level or is it just some? Seek clarity as to what the actual comp levels are. They will play games with you if you're not careful, and that will cost you unnecessary amounts of commission dollars you otherwise would have earned. Number 4 is manipulation of product-specific payouts. Now this is something that happens with some carriers, not all of them, but you got to be aware of this at the very minimum, is that some carriers allow their IMO partners and agencies to alter the renewals and the first-year commissions of certain products. So maybe all of the carriers could be paid a level, same commission across the board, but then the IMO or the agency reduces the graded commission or reduces the modified or the guaranteed issue commission. And then invariably what happens is there's a huge commission spread to the IMO on a product that normally would pay a lot higher to you. And so what's the point of this? The point of this is another way that an agency can grab more of your cash that you otherwise would have earned had you had any knowledge or awareness that this was happening to you. Again, this is a smaller issue than it has been in the past. It's something, it's not a big deal, but it is something that does happen from time to time. And the last thing here, and this takes a little bit of creative thinking here, is that the last way, and this is probably the biggest way, especially with captive companies, that they restrict you of your ability to get your comp as high as it could be, is the purposeful limitation of carriers. Now, you shouldn't start with all carriers to begin with. It's too confusing. But I believe in the independent model, which is having options. Options lead to more sales. Options lead, therefore, to better persistency, better people, better business sticking on the books. And that means more money for you and happier clients. But if you're in a situation where you're with one company or a restriction of carriers, then you're restricting your capability to maximize your sales, maximize your replacements if they're ethical and worthy of actually being replaced. And that means you're not helping as many people, and that means you're not making as much commission. So this is why, as an agent and as an agency that I run, I'm a big proponent of the independent model, because it allows the person who is an independent agent to represent a multitude of carriers and then do the best job for as many clients as possible. Whereas if you represent one carrier, there's definitely some advantages: simplification of the application process, easier to learn, but it's not always going to be the best option for price. And definitely for value of coverage. You may not be able to get coverage on somebody that otherwise could get it elsewhere. And unfortunately, there's a lot of this talk about this sort of value proposition with these clients and final expense. The final expense market is driven by price. It always will be. But sure, the sale can be consummated on value, but as time progresses, that value diminishes in propensity. And if somebody walks in 3 months, 6 months later, and then sees that you can save them $20, $30 or raise their commission or face amount by $5,000, and they think about their family who's poor already and how this will benefit them that much more, the value proposition gets run out the window for more coverage at the same or a better price. So we're big advocates of that, and the way you do that is by having options for coverage for your client, not a limitation. So there are the 5 ways to reduce your commission, and in some ways how to increase them. By avoiding all these, you can maximize your pay as an agent, and that would come down, bottom line, buy your own leads, work them really hard, of course. That's, of course, assumed. Get 100% invested up front. Get clarity on your commission grids so that you're not manipulated. Make sure that you're working with carriers that don't allow the manipulation on an agency level. The comps, most of them don't. And last but not least, go independent so you can give yourself as many options as possible to help your clients. My name is David DuFord. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in joining an agency, check out davidduford.com. We recruit agents nationally to learn how to sell final expense successfully, face-to-face and over the phone. Mentorship is our specialty. We have great commissions, great leads, a great culture. And you can learn more at davidduford.com/FAQ, including our Make Money Guarantee offered to all full-time agents. Hope you enjoyed this video. See ya.